Today on the show, are you interested in studying overseas? We have a look at how you can turn that dream into a reality. The Trobe Student Union join us to talk about the importance of a social community at university and some ways you can join in. Paula Martinez hits the Melbourne Comedy Festival, and we take a step into the La Trobe University's future where there is an autonomous vehicle testing right now. Good afternoon, my name is Sasha Doherty.
And my name is Raquel Martins, and we're coming to you live from La Trobe University in Melbourne. Welcome to LTYou Radio.
Welcome, and what's happening in the world today?
The royal family has just welcomed its newest member with the Duchess of Cambridge, Kate Middleton's safe delivery of a baby boy. The baby, weighing 3.8 kilos, was born at 8 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time last night. Less than 7 hours after the birth of her second son, Kate appeared on the steps of St Mary's Hospital in London looking well with her new son and husband. 9 people have been killed and 16 others are critically injured after a van ploughed through pedestrians in Toronto, Canada. Eyewitnesses described the horrific scene as the white van jumped the footpath and travelled for more than a kilometre, mowing down pedestrians at speeds of 70 kilometres per hour. Once the van was brought to a stop, the driver pulled a weapon on police. The tense standoff ended when the driver dropped the object he was holding and lay down. The driver has been taken into custody. A 12-year-old boy has stolen a credit card and gone on a Bali holiday after fighting with his mother. The Sydney boy boarded a flight alone to Perth, then another to Indonesia, where he checked into the All Seasons Hotel. He told his family he was going to school, rode his Razor scooter to the local train station from where he travelled to the airport and used a self-serve check-in terminal and boarded a flight for Perth. Victoria's first Level 4 autonomous bus will be starting trials in Melbourne's north. The shuttle will be taking passengers for small trips around La Trobe's Bundoora campus. Trials start and will be running until mid-May. The trials will help with future of self-driving vehicles. A London Marathon runner and MasterChef star Matt Campbell has died after collapsing during a race in record-breaking heat. Campbell, 29, received medical treatment immediately after collapsing 36 kilometres into the race, in what proved to be the event's hottest year on record, with the mercury reaching 24.1 degrees Celsius. In a statement, organisers said that the exact cause of Mr. Campbell's death was not yet known. My goodness, that's a bit of a shock that, his death in that race for us, we were saying earlier, 24 degrees isn't that, that hot to us here in Australia.
No, it's a mild autumn day.
Yeah, it's amazing how much it's affected people in London. Obviously, they're not used to having toasty temperatures.
A different heat for them as well because they're used to basically, half or more of half of the year just in dark cloud, miserable conditions. For that to happen, obviously, it was pretty serious. Whether or not there was more to it, though,
you have to think there might have been something, medically not right with him.
2 people going down in the heat. I can understand heat exhaustion, but that's really a terrible thing to have happened.
Definitely.
Yeah. Also, obviously, it's another serious occasion with the van in Toronto, something that we're unfortunately familiar with here as well in Melbourne. It's just something that seems to be going around the globe at the moment. Just
happening more and more. It's scary that it's something that's becoming more common. This morning on the radio they were saying that it's not something that they think is linked to terrorism as of yet.
No.
But that is the first thing that obviously, having had so many of the other, the same things happening, and it's all been sort of linked to terrorism, it's a bit scary.
I think, you need to look at other things like mental health, which was
definitely
a huge impact with the incident here, but also there's been a few other incidences in the States as well as Canada. That are linked back to mental health problems. So there's, a whole other issue they need to look at as well.
Before they jump into...
Yeah. Did you have a fight with your parents and want to steal a credit card and go on a holiday?
I don't think I'd be brave enough to do that.
I couldn't imagine the amount of strife I would have gotten in.
But would have been a lot worse than...
For a 12-year-old boy, that's pretty impressive, I have to say.
Yeah.
He did a lot of research.
He did, knowing, where to go, what flights to get.
Yeah.
How, and he's avoided, talking to anyone that could sort of stop him by going to that self-serve checkout.
Apparently, from what I heard, he Yeah, he looked up online the airlines that wouldn't ask him as many questions and wouldn't see it as suspicious. But I think it'll definitely have a lot of airlines maybe reassessing how they're going to let minors onto planes.
Definitely.
But yeah, wow. I think he got to spend 4 days there.
Before they worked out where he was?
Yeah, before his mum came over.
Wow. He did a good job.
He'd want to, I don't think he'd be going on a holiday anytime soon.
No, definitely not.
And obviously the autonomous bus, which we are covering today, it's very exciting.
It is.
For our university as well as Victoria. So I'm looking forward to learning a bit more about that later on. Yeah. Now, in a perfect world, you can do anything you want, have anything you want. You could eat all the food you want and you could have the figure you want. You could watch all the TV you want and get enough sleep. You could experience the world but have an amazing education. What if I told you this was already possible? Unfortunately, we aren't talking about food. We are talking about studying abroad.
La Trobe provides students with an incredible exchange and study abroad program, which allows students to spend a semester or sometimes even a whole year studying in another university overseas. If the possibility of studying abroad excites you, but at the same time overwhelms you, then don't worry. We are here to break it down for you and give you a starting point.
So La Trobe University has an extensive exchange program. We work with about 150 partners across approximately 50 countries, and exchange, short-term programs, internships, clinical placements, all these opportunities are available to all the Trobe students, regardless of whether they're domestic students or international students, or undergraduate or postgraduate students.
I've always wanted to go on exchange, and it was something that I was even thinking about in high school, but I never really thought of it properly until I was at the end of my first year at La Trobe, and they sent me an email saying that I was eligible to go on exchange.
The students will have to apply, follow our application instructions, which are all on our website, and there are a couple of processes that they will need to follow, the credit approval process and then the final application process. And once the application comes through, we will assess everything and then we'll liaise with the host institutions in terms of where the students can be placed. The destination isn't really the question, it's the actual experience. No matter where you go, you'll have a great time and an invaluable experience, exposure through the program.
One concern which students may hold in their minds is the issue of money and how they will be able to afford all the costs of travel, accommodation, food.
You know, as a uni student, you're saving up for all of these things, and you have to spend money on all sorts, you know, like a car and textbooks and all of those extra things, and often you've just got a casual job or a part-time job where you probably don't earn that much money, and so saving up for exchange does seem like a huge challenge.
Going overseas can be expensive, yes, but as a student you have the best of both worlds because there's a lot of funding available, particularly for domestic students. You can apply for an overseas help loan, which goes on top of your HECS, and it ranges from $6,500 to $7,500, roughly speaking. So that's a big chunk of money which will help you through funding your airfares and preparation, visa, etc.
The unknown is a scary thing for many, and going on exchange is diving straight into the unknown. You'll be living in a new country, experiencing a new culture, living and studying with new people. But this is exactly why you should do it.
I kind of worried that I would miss my family and be challenged too much because of the whole moving abroad, time difference, not really having your security net that you're used to, but it has been really great.
The whole thing about exchange is that you're putting yourself out of your comfort zone, and that's probably one of the hardest things that you can do.
So once you are there, what can you expect?
I would definitely recommend going on exchange. It is just an amazing experience.
You know, once you get over there, it's really exciting, and of course you get homesickness with everything else, but the reward itself from going on exchange is the best part, and you meet so many people.
And oftentimes when students go overseas, they always want to stay back for longer because the experience is far too amazing for them to want to return back to Australia.
Wow.
It looks like so much fun. Makes me want to go and organise an exchange
Yeah,
right now.
I'm off. But no, we've got two amazing people here to tell us more about it. One who is currently on exchange, Astrid, and Paula, who obviously did the story and learned a bit more about it as well.
Yeah, and I actually went on exchange last
I'm
year.
sorry.
Oh.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
did you go?
I went to Milan in Italy. So
beautiful.
last semester, semester 2 of my second year, I spent 8 months overseas
Amazing.
and 4 months doing the exchange in Milan.
That's so
So
cool.
yeah, we've both experienced exchange.
You're both advocates as well of
Yeah.
getting out and about.
Yeah.
How are you finding it, Astrid?
Oh, I'm finding it really nice. Like, I've been here for 3 months now, and I just love the Australian culture, and like, I think it's a really good opportunity to learn a lot about yourself,
Yeah.
and also learn a lot about culture and stuff like that.
What
But
if,
yeah, of course, I miss my family.
Yeah, that's
I
the
think that would be the hardest
balance,
part.
isn't it? Trying to do that. But
Yeah.
thank goodness for technology and
Yeah.
FaceTime and all that stuff.
Exactly. It makes it a lot
FaceTime's a
easier.
lifesaver.
How did you go in a country that spoke a different language and things like that?
I actually had been studying Italian for 2 years previous to going.
Yeah.
So I actually chose Italy because
Yeah.
I wanted to go and learn more Italian. So to me, that was a really cool opportunity to be able to learn more and really force myself to learn, because I feel like when you're here, you're learning. It's like, you know, you go to class, you learn it, but then you
You don't get to live the language.
Exactly. Whereas
Yeah.
there, you're actually living there. You're kind of in a way forced to. When you go
Yeah.
to the supermarket and it's, you know, you either have to speak Italian or people don't understand you. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, a lot of people speak English there.
Yeah.
So I had a few classmates that didn't speak any Italian and were able to survive fine. But I think that if you do know the language, it just adds a little bit more.
Yeah.
It just makes it more
Yeah.
special because you're actually kind of in the culture, and people really appreciate when you try and make the effort to kind of speak
Yeah.
their language rather than
Yeah.
just going and assuming that they speak English in their country.
Absolutely. Astrid, what have you learnt from our English?
I would say sometimes it's a challenge to, like, because the accent is so much different from the English in London and in America. But that was why I applied for Australia, to improve my English skills.
Wow.
And you were telling me the other day that there are some funky words that you learned
What
as
are some
well.
of the words that you've heard and you sort of
I think the
what is
first
that?
thing was like, I know the word breakfast, but when you called it brekkie, I was like, what the fuck, is it a break or, sorry, I can't say.
That's right. We like to
But
shorten
yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
And I got told when I lived in the UK that everything sounds like a question
Yeah.
when we have a conversation, whether it's one or not.
Yeah,
So
now that you
yeah.
say that,
Sure.
actually, when you think
we go
about
up with our.
Yeah, exactly.
But have you learnt any interesting things you'll take back, culture-wise?
I would say you're really good at giving each other compliments. So I think that is one of the things I will definitely bring back. And the thing about just like saying, how are you?
Yeah.
Instead of just hello.
Yeah.
That's, I think that makes a difference for me.
That's really
no
interesting.
taking back Goon of Fortune or any sort of crazy drinking games we come up with.
No, not really.
You're like, no.
What have been the biggest cultural differences for you between the two countries that you found?
I would say like the multicultural thing you have here. Everybody is like, have parents who comes from overseas and got here. So yeah, you have a lot of different communities. Also, the areas around Melbourne, you can see difference. I would say I didn't expect that much Asian culture here, but there is a lot, and Greek people as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
really cool.
there's definitely some cultural differences.
What did you love about Milan?
Everything. I love Italian culture.
Fashion.
I think, not really. That was the least, because to me, like, I'm used to rocking up to uni in, like, sweatpants and, like...
Was it, like...
And everyone goes to
glamorous?
uni, like, glam, like, full glam, turning it up, and I'm like, oh, no. I actually have to, like, wake up, like, an hour early and, like, put my makeup on, do my hair.
Yeah, right.
It kind of was good because it, like, taught me to, like, kind of, like... take care of myself a little bit. But yeah, I love the city, and just I think what I love about Europe, and I think that if people are considering going overseas, Europe is a really good option because there's so many opportunities to travel for not that much money because everything's so close to each other. You can get, at one point I saw a plane to the UK, I think it was to Ireland for like $10. Or €10, which is like a bit more than $10. You can get trains to, so many places. I got a bus to Switzerland and it took me 2 hours to get there. And I was able to just do a 4-day trip in Switzerland. And it cost like $20. That's awesome. So I think that if people are considering going overseas and they want to get a lot of travelling done and tick a lot of places off their bucket list, then I think that Europe is a really good option to do that.
Absolutely.
And you experience so many cultures and
And you went through it a bit in the package about how to find out more about it, but is there any quick tips you'd like to share before we...
find out more about exchange.
Yeah.
So if you're interested, definitely go to the Trobe Global Lounge, which is just up in the Agora. So they'll actually give you everything that you need. So all you have to do is just email them, Google it. Beautiful. Just go on the La Trobe website and look up exchange, and there you can email them or just go straight to them, and they'll give you everything that you need, every paperwork that you need to fill out. You do have to do it 6 months in advance. So if you want to go, maybe it's a bit late to do it next semester, but if you want to do it next year, that's fine. There's also the option of if you're too iffy about going for 6 months, maybe that's a bit long. There are also options to go during the summer or winter holidays, which is called AIM Overseas. Yep. So they can give you the option to do that as well if you just want to go for a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Perfect. And from a current exchange student, just do it. Yeah. It's all worth it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And you'll learn so much. I think it's important to say you'll learn so much about yourself. And it adds so many things to you. For me, it adds a lot of practical media to my portfolio. Oh, great. So it's definitely all worth it.
Wonderful. Do it. Thank you for coming in and sharing that.
Thanks,
really
guys.
Appreciate it. Now, Melburnians are the first people in the world to see a brand new life-size car made entirely of Lego. When it's unveiled for the first time ever at the Ryan Brickman McNaught's new exhibition, which is called Brickman Awesome, I headed over to the exhibition to have a look. I'm here at the Melbourne Museum. Behind me you can see a beautiful red car, which is a Camry. It is an actual life-size vehicle, and there is more of these types of things at the Lego exhibition, which is open to the end of April. Australia's only Lego certified professional, Ryan McNaught, is 45 years old, but it's part of his job to remember what it's like to be a child. He builds almost all of the giant Lego figures that have sprung up and multiplied in different stores and toy shops all over Australia. Ryan and his team have built some of the world's most detailed and large Lego models, and even have the honour of being responsible for building models for Lego offices around the globe. Not only the coolest car in movies, but also now the coolest car in Lego. This took 290 hours and 65,143 individual little pieces. Not bad. LEGO certified professionals are not officially employed by the LEGO Corporation. However, they are officially recognised. So any one of us out there, including myself, could be a certified LEGO professional and be creating such beauties as these big bulldozers behind me. Brickman Awesome has been exclusively curated by Ryan McNaughton and his expert team. He is one of only 14 LEGO certified professionals in the Southern Hemisphere. Behind me is this NASA Space Shuttle. Now, it's not like the usual things you see in the books. This one is huge. It is also made of LEGO. I mean, check it out. It is over 460,000 pieces. It took over 500 hours to build. And unlike a lot of the designs here, it actually is suspended off the rocket boosters. So the whole thing itself needs to be held up, which is a bit unique considering the amount of bricks that are putting that thing together. Brickman Awesome marks Ryan's third exhibition made entirely from LEGO. It features 39 models, none of which have ever been seen in Melbourne before, and is made up of more than 2 million LEGO bricks, taking over 5,000 hours to build. Brickman Awesome, presented by Toyota, opened in Melbourne on March 21st. Get down there this weekend, it'll finish on Sunday the 29th of April, don't miss out. I got to relive my childhood a bit. You were there. We had a great time, didn't we?
It was fantastic. It's really cool to see, you know, that car was incredible, even that rocket that you showed right at the end. It was just incredible to see that it was all entirely made out of LEGO.
Yeah, just the effects they had on that rocket itself. I mean, it would have been better for us to show that, but unfortunately it was just so hard. People were just in the way. There were kids everywhere. But it did inspire me to get my LEGO out and have a crack at building some things, just because I forgot how much I enjoyed it. Even as an adult, as you can see, Ryan seems to make that an actual job, which is amazing. So
it'd be pretty cool to have a job building LEGO. Getting paid to build cars and rockets, and he had the Eiffel Tower there. And it's some really amazing things in that exhibition to go and see. I mean, I only ever built your cubes and maybe a little castle.
Did you follow like I had robots, and at some point I had a horse stable, which was pretty random.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, he does, like I said before, offices, department stores. Pretty much anything of a scale that you'll see would be him and his team building, which is pretty cool. And one of the very few people that is certified.
Imagine that being certified to build LEGO sculptures, and that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it was great.
It's inspiring me to go out and visit Toys R Us and get some LEGO of my own.
Yeah, well, it's so interesting now how different it is to when we were kids. Just the different styles. Everything seems to be more marketed at brands like Marvel, Star Wars. It's more very specific things rather than they used to just have those free builds that you'd make your own stuff up. And I think they have brought some of the classic stuff back for that very reason. But yeah, it was a really cool exhibition. So if anyone gets a chance this weekend to check it out, I would highly recommend it. You can spend as long as you want in there as well. So
definitely worth the look.
We certainly did.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
We certainly did.
Every year, the streets of Melbourne burst into laughter as comedians from all over the world join us for our annual Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Although the festival ended on Sunday, Paula and James couldn't help but share their experiences, and Paula will be joining us in the studio to tell us how you can still enjoy stand-up comedy all year round.
Hi everyone, we're here at the Comedy Festival. We're about to go into our first show of the night. It's by Aidan Jones. And it's just over there, so let's go in and see if he's funny, and I guess ultimately if he's worth your money.
$17.50.
Let's go.
$17.50.
Get the flags, get the flags.
I mean, I'm writing a new show. I want to be a full-time comedian. I'm like so close.
What's the process of writing a show like?
You write enough jokes until you think you have like an hour worth, or in my case, I'm trying to tell a story with my next show as well. But then once you write it and you do it for the first time, you probably realise that it's like most of it sucks, but you can do an hour. And so once you've got an hour, then you find places that will let you do an hour, and you keep honing it like that.
Okay.
So I'm writing my hour, I'll do it a few times in Melbourne, and then I'm taking it to Edinburgh, and I'll do it 25 nights in a row, and that'll make it better. There was a Spanish guy in my audience, and you know when you learn another language, you learn the synonyms. You don't learn every synonym, you just learn one like translating word. So like caminar means to walk in English, but you don't, when you learn another language, you don't like walk, perambulate, stroll, all of those, you just learn one. So I asked this guy, how do you translate duerme negrito? And he goes, go to sleep, and he said the N-word, and everyone was like, ah! Freaking out, completely different show. So, go to sleep, little black boy. And my mum's like, I'm like watching the video, and mum's like, what do you think? And I'm like, nah, no good, mum, this sucks. And this is why mum's very funny, because as soon as I admitted to not liking the video, she went, oh really? Because that guy in the middle is Fernando, your biological father.
Okay, Jane, so what did you think of that performance?
I laughed.
Yeah, I laughed. I thought it was really funny. He had like my sense of humour, whereas it was a bit different to your sense of humour.
I like a little bit more
depth and less immaturity.
I like to think. No, I don't like to think. I want to laugh, but I just don't want drugs.
Go and see Lewis Garnham, the smartest idiot you'll ever meet. Is a good friend of mine, nominated for Best Newcomer in this festival, and Pete Jones up there is phenomenal and will be on TV soon. But I mean, yeah, I've seen a bunch of shows. I'm going to see Neil Portenza, who's a festival favourite, and it's his last show ever. He's quitting comedy. Oh, okay. Which is crazy. I'm seeing his last show ever in Melbourne on Sunday. I can't wait for that.
Whereabouts is that at?
I don't know.
Look it up.
I'm seeing it. I got tickets on it.
Yeah.
And also Chimp Cop. So good.
Sadly, the International Melbourne Comedy Festival has come to an end this year, but as you can see, there were so many amazing performers, so many great shows, but don't worry, if you've missed out, there's always next year.
So, instead of the usual club experience, I want to hear what people actually think about the clubs and societies today.
Yeah, so we just went and saw that guy. I would have loved to go and seen more people, but it was a bit late. So yeah, he was really funny. I thought he was really, really funny. It was more of a more intimate setting. Yeah. There wasn't that many people, but you know, he was interacting a lot with the audience, so that made it, you know, a different experience and to what I would have expected, because I thought it was just going to be like people sitting and then like a stage, but because it was in like a more enclosed area, he was able to interact with the audience, and it kind of made it more enjoyable. And just the whole vibe, like I feel like the city is just like there's more people, and there's like it's and venues everywhere, like around Melbourne. So you just walk around and you see, you know, all the venues and, you know, advertisements, and it was really cool. I enjoyed the experience.
Oh, that's awesome. Were there any quiet moments, bad jokes that was an awkward moment in any hecklers, you know?
Not that I can think of. I think there was a few jokes that just didn't land as well as others, maybe. Yeah. But people still sort of, you know, were smiling or laughing. It was never just like a completely quiet, just like, oh. I thought he is like his, I don't know, sketch. Is it called sketch? I don't know. His whole show was just like, it flowed really nicely. Yeah. So it wasn't just like random jokes. It was like a story. He told a story. And so even if there wasn't funny moments, it was still, the story was still going, and the story was still interesting. So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too awkward.
Laughter's supposed to be the best medicine. Do you think it was a good way to relax right in the middle of semester?
Yeah, totally. I think that for sure. I don't like. I'm one of those people that don't like. it has to be really funny to make me laugh. And I was just sitting there like smiling. Even if I wasn't laughing, I was just sitting there smiling the whole time. It was totally a distraction from everything. And I think that it's quite actually affordable. Like that show was $17, I think. But there's other shows, you know, even if you pay $30, that's still like you're still going out. It's like a nice night out. You're laughing, going with your friends, and it goes for like an hour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really just entertaining and good for just a laugh and to like just go out and have fun.
So as you said, it's ended though. What about during the rest of the year? Can we still see stand up in Melbourne?
Yeah, totally. So yeah, unfortunately, it has come to an end. Obviously, it's on every year. So be sure to go next year because it's a really cool experience. But yeah, throughout the year, there's stand up comedy in lots of pubs and bars around Melbourne, especially the CBD. So there's at the Brunswick Hotel. There's on Monday nights they have stand up comedy, and they've got like special, like I'm pretty sure they've got like cheap jugs and stuff like that. You can also go to the Catfish in Fitzroy, which that goes until the 31st of July, and I think it's every Tuesday night. Same with the Imperial Hotel. Same Tuesdays nights, ends until the it goes up until the 31st of July. There's a European Beer Cafe, the Butterfly Club, all those places.
Like there's loads.
Yeah, there's heaps of places.
You know, you can go and just watch comedy, and it's just go and have a beer, and it'll be a good laugh and a good time for everyone. Yeah.
Is there anyone that you missed out on seeing that you think you might try and catch next time?
I'm not really familiar with many comedians actually, but I heard that, I think his name's Pete Evans. I think it is. But I've heard his show is really funny, and also Hughesy, like just the people, the people that are sort of on the radio. It would be cool to go and watch and see what they're like doing stand up. Yeah. Because you know, on the radio you see them, but it's like different to actually stand up. So I think next year I would, and it's not too expensive. So I think that it's definitely affordable, and I would definitely go to more shows next year for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure you could be able to like map it out.
Yeah. And there's a few free ones as well that you can go to. And sometimes it's like a group of them that just get together and just do like quick improv and stuff. Cool. And it's like free, and you just go and So there's just so many options.
Lovely.
How do you think you'd go as a stand-up comedian?
Oh, not good at all.
No, that was pretty funny. You enjoyed it.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
We might see you at Melbourne Comedy Festival. Well, thanks for joining us, Paula. We look forward to hearing what you get up to next week on the show.
Yeah, I don't know what that will be, but we'll find out.
So each week we like to promote our clubs and societies at La Trobe University because we do believe in a strong social community, and we have Astrid Raven here to tell us some more.
So, instead of the usual club experience, I want to hear what people actually think about the clubs and societies today. Later on, I will have a chit-chat with the officer of the clubs and societies within La Trobe. So, stay tuned. Of the clubs or societies?
Yeah, I have. I signed up for a few. I came to the clubs day earlier in the year, like when we first started. I signed up to, I think the Queer Collective was one. There was like a theatre society and a few, because I'm doing a science degree, so I signed up for a few of the science clubs as well.
And why do you think it's important to be a part of a society or a club?
Well, I mostly did it because I don't live around here, so I don't have a lot of friends that came to this uni, and I really want to try and make a good group of friends so I actually can have like fun at uni a lot. So that was my main reason, so I think that's pretty important.
If you should start a society or a club yourself, what should it be about?
Ooh, that's tough because there's a lot of, I guess, most things have sort of already been made that I would want to be a part of. I'd like to extend like the theatre and arts clubs because I don't think there's very many here, at least that I've seen, and like even do some shows and stuff like that if we could. So.
My name's Greg Whiten. I'm the Clubs and Societies Officer at the Trobe Student Union. So yeah, I just look after all the clubs and societies on campus, basically. The Trobe Student Union website's the place to go to find at least the contact details for clubs. So they're all listed there, and even clubs that no longer exist are there as well if people want to bring them back to life. So but yeah, that's a great place to start. The university wants people to be all kinds of clever. We'll represent everything else that is at the university that's just not clever, if that makes sense. So yeah, we cover everything else basically at the student union, so we're more than just clever.
Have you signed up for any of the clubs or societies within La Trobe?
Yeah, so I'm part of JMAC and I'm also part of the Theatre and Film Society.
And how do you like it?
I really like it. There's no really big commitment. I just follow them on Facebook, and when there's events that I want to attend, I just go to them.
And if you should start a club yourself, what should it be about?
Ooh, that's a really good one. I really love all the Harry Potter clubs, so maybe I'd do another one, but I don't know. I'd have to have more of a think.
You'll never know what you're going to get out of it unless you don't. Basically just jump in. You'll regret it if you don't, I guess, as well. But you can't lose anything by just giving it a go.
Thanks for joining us, Harry.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a bit more about the student union and why it's so important to have these clubs and societies?
Yeah, so clubs and societies are obviously very important to any sort of university or any educational institution because it keeps all the students engaged, basically. Yeah. For example, it's a very effective tool for team building and cross-cultural communication. Like, for me, I didn't have anyone when I just landed here. So I think I joined Student Union and all this sort of clubs, and then I got to meet a lot of new people and make new friends. Yeah, that's how I started.
Like the way to go when you're
definitely
new to a place. Whether you have lived here, like I came to uni, I didn't know anyone. So
exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that when an international student arrives, he or she might know anyone.
Anyone.
Yeah, like I didn't know anyone. I started from the scratch.
Yeah. And how are you going now? You're just fending people off?
Yeah, I'm just trying to help other students, just make them feel comfortable, make them feel at home.
Must be quite a rewarding job being General Secretary of the union.
Yes, it feels very good to be a part of Student Union. I would like to thank my predecessors, especially Damanjit Man, who was the ex-General Secretary, who tried to engage me with the Student Union. Also, ex-postgraduate officer who was Venkat Ganesh. He was also from India. And also the ex-president of LTYou, who was Jake. Yeah. These are the guys who really helped me out.
So it sounds like a really great support network.
Yeah, and also my colleagues at the moment, especially Michael, Shay, Navida, and all of the other people. Yeah, they have been a great support.
And what clubs are you currently a part of?
Being the General Secretary, I'm a default member of every club.
That's pretty cool. It's like having a key to the city.
Yeah.
Which ones are your favourites?
I don't have anything like any particular club as favorite. Like every club is my favorite. Basically.
All of them.
Yeah, I like all of them because it really helps to build a good reputation. Because there have been lots of clubs in various categories helping out students, de-stressing them. Like we have gaming clubs, we got cultural clubs, we got like some clubs who do charity work, like Two Birds, One Stone.
Oh, cool.
It is, So one of the Rabelais editors, he's a part of it, Abu Shahada. Yeah.
Do you know how many clubs there are?
Yeah, so last year it was 96. So this year it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
I think we have already reached 100.
Is there a cut-off time during the year, or can you make a club any time?
Nah, you can make it like at any time. So
Yeah.
there is no cutoff time as such.
What's the process that if someone wanted to make their own club, what sort of steps do they have to go through to do that?
So first you need to have an idea. That's the basic step. And then you need to email me and Greg regarding that. And then need to set up date and time for AGM, also venue. And then need to gather 10 people. You need to open nominations for various posts such as president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, council delegate, etc., etc.
Yeah.
And you can also create your own positions. Like, for example, ISC, Indian Students Club, has a committee of 22 people. Yeah.
Wow.
Where do you draw the line at club ideas? Like, has there been some really hilarious ones where you've gone, great idea, guys, but probably not appropriate? Is there any sort
It's
of...
nothing as such because we encourage any idea to come up. Yeah, just that it shouldn't be any sort of racial discrimination or
No,
something.
absolutely not.
We just keep that inside. But otherwise, it's all good. We really have some cool clubs. Like we have one of them coming up as nap clubs.
Nap clubs.
Yeah,
I would love to be a part of that
definitely.
one.
yeah, so
really good at it.
So it was, the idea was conceived by one of my friends. Yeah, and they're really doing a great job at the moment.
It's actually pretty popular in workplaces
Yeah.
as well. So.
Yeah, and there are also a lot of other clubs
Yeah.
who grew into fame and stuff.
That's cool.
Like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
A nap club. Definitely going to keep my eye out for that.
Yeah, you should.
So how long have you been involved personally with the student union?
So I came here way back in 2016. So
Yeah.
at that time, I just started as a volunteer.
Yeah, cool.
Yes, and that's how my journey started. Yeah.
And it changed, do you think it changed your whole university experience?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
It did a lot. I know a lot of people now. I have a lot of friends now from
Yeah.
various other countries. Yeah, and it changes you as a person as well. Like that's what me and my colleagues were discussing the other day.
Yeah.
Like how student union has changed us as a person, or we have become more responsible now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, always procrastinating and stuff.
Yeah.
I guess, as you were saying, it's a great way for other students who are considering whether or not they should join a club, it's probably a great way to be able to meet people outside of your degree, outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
And, meet new people from other countries who speak other languages.
Yeah, and also it's a great way to make friends with the local students, domestic students, because a lot of international students feel that, I still don't want to have same friends from their own particular group or own particular community.
It can be
They want
quite
it to be-
intimidating though, and nerve-wracking. Do you have any tips for people that are quite shy but really want to get involved?
Yeah. The only way to do is to join a club.
Yeah.
Take up some responsibilities. Even I was a shy person
Yeah.
when I landed here, but yeah, I joined
It's all
a few
changed
clubs.
now.
Yeah, it's all changed now. Now I'm doing a live interview. Like I never thought I would because I'm really
Well,
shy.
you're doing
person.
a great job.
Thank you.
Cool.
So if people want to find out more about all these clubs and societies, they just jump on the Trobe Student Union website?
Yes, exactly. Or they can contact me, add us on Facebook, or email me at any time.
You've got a slogan. I'm just having a quick.
Yeah.
Be more than just clever. Is that a good way of summing up joining a club at university?
Yes, why not? Like nap club. Isn't that a clever idea?
It's absolutely clever. Yeah.
It's a great idea.
Now I just want to think of ideas for clubs.
So do I. Yeah. I'm sure we could think of some
I'm
good
sure I'll
ones.
email you a bunch. Of ideas.
Sure, why not?
You can tell us which ones we're good to start.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
No
for joining
worries.
us today. Really appreciate it. I'm
Thank you.
very excited about this nap club business.
Thanks a lot.
No, that's all right. Starting today, Victorians will have the opportunity to take part in a new and exciting autonomous shuttle trial that will help shape the future of public transport. The first project of its kind in Victoria, an autonomous shuttle trial will be held at La Trobe University's Bundoora campus in Melbourne's north. Here is Paula Martinez to report.
Autonobus. It's Australia's first autonomous shuttle bus and it's being trialled here at La Trobe University in Bundoora. It is being trialled to gain an understanding of the technology involved, including how autonomous shuttles integrate with our road system and how humans interact with automated technologies. Running with 360-degree cameras and multiple input sensors, the Autonobus is incredibly safe and will stop to avoid colliding with any obstacles in its path. Roundabouts and complex traffic intersections can also be managed thanks to the advanced technology which enables the Autonomous to integrate with conventional roads.
The shuttle has GPS sensors and 360-degree cameras and sensors right around it, so it can detect anything that passes by and will take actions accordingly. And there will also be an operator in the shuttle at all times, because this is a level 4 automated bus, and in case of an emergency the operator will always take control.
This trial is bringing together Victoria's largest member organisations to explore the use of driverless buses as a part of first and last mile transportation service. Autonomous is a collaboration between Vic Roads, Kelly Stowner, La Trobe University, HMI, RACV and ARRB.
The Autonomous trial will be commencing on Tuesday, the 24th of April, and will be going on for 2 months. And it will include the first driverless shuttle that will be running in Victoria, which will go right through our campus. So it will start from the David Myers building and go right up to Plenty Road and back to David Myers. And you can be a part of this amazing experience and say that you have been one of the first people to go on a driverless vehicle.
So during this 8-week trial period, if you're interested in riding on the first ever autonomous bus in Australia, then you can just fill in a request online and they could potentially give you a spot and you'll be able to ride around the university in the bus. All you have to do is fill in a survey afterwards and that's it. So if you're interested, make sure you sign up. Paula Martinez reporting, LTYou.
So you can register, as Paula said, to participate in the trial on the La Trobe website at www.latrobe.edu.au/autonomous. So we'll pop that link up on our Twitter as well, so you can have a look. The initial trials will run until mid-May and will be running on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays and Saturdays. So there is a limited availability and there's already hundreds of people signed up. So make sure you head over to the website and register.
Yeah, now sticking to the topic of autonomous vehicles, there has been a lot of discussion around the safety of driverless transport, with now 2 deaths in America recorded caused by self-driving vehicles. Where do we go from here? Well, we have James Prevera joining us at the desk to talk about the issue, and who has also just actually experienced the bus this morning.
Yeah, so I got to drive around in the Autonomous.
And how was it?
I feel like, it's small and everyone was kind of like packed in there, and there was like a camera and an interviewer, and everyone was it's not the largest.
No, I mean, bearing in mind it is a test.
Vehicle,
but
they said it's not going to get any bigger than what they're offering at the moment.
I guess the bigger the bus is probably going to make it
more
harder
difficult.
to, those sensors. It makes it a bit more difficult for it to be driverless, I'd assume.
I don't think size is an issue.
Size matters, right.
Because you can upscale the technology. I mean, planes pretty much drive themselves these days, and they're huge. So
that is true.
It honestly wouldn't be that hard. It's just calibrating everything and just making sure everything's right.
Talk us through your experience though.
So I rocked up.
Yeah.
And I got on the bus.
Yeah.
And I tried to sit in the bus. So you have to have a seatbelt on. Mm-hmm. And everyone was very tightly packed in.
Yeah.
And
so was this, sorry to interrupt, the official first?
From what I understand, yes.
Wow, cool. Go on.
So we sat in. It started driving. It only goes to a top speed of like 40 Ks. I think we were going 15 Ks at the time. Mm-hmm. We did a loop. And then we saw a car crash.
Created by a driver, though.
Created by a driver.
Okay.
So all of a sudden the conversation turned around. How is this going to change safety? And then insurance came up because insurance.
Course,
So, yeah, it was just... It kind of came down to, it depends on how the community accept it.
Yeah.
Community don't accept it.
No, well,
this
that's
thing
one of
is
the
not gonna
hardest things
happen.
is convincing people that I'm going to be catching this in their daily lives if it's safe or not. So.
Yeah. So, this is one of the first in Victoria.
Yeah.
There's trials happening in New South Wales, South Australia, Western Australia. If there was a crash to happen with this,
yes,
and it's the bus's fault, I think this is going to be put on. I don't think it's going. I mean, it's going to happen. We're all going to have driverless cars, but as of right now, I think it's going to be put on hold until they can really get the safety features.
Yeah. Because they're all going to have to talk to each other, the vehicles.
Well, that's the whole plan. Yeah. So why driverless cars are safer than human drivers? Because human drivers make mistakes. And if you can have every car as like one mind that can talk to each other, then it's way more safer. Than
my dad's car already, he's just got an, I believe it's a Santa Fe, Hyundai Santa Fe, and that can park itself. It can... you pull up beside the car spot, and it, as you drive past it, it measures the spot, and take your hands off the wheel, and it just pulls itself in, and that's freaky in itself to watch, because the wheel just
that would have.
But it's got sensors. If you get too close to the car in front of you, it'll put the brakes on, and at the moment they're features that you can choose to turn on or off. But it's I don't
know. I think it's a bit...
driving his car. I drove it on the weekend, and I feel like I don't have complete control of the car sometimes. So
I feel like that when I am in a car that does have the rear, cameras and things. And I still look behind and do all of the things that I was taught when I drove.
Just to be sure.
It's in a car that wasn't even automatic, didn't even have power steering.
Yeah. Wow, kicking it old school.
Yeah. So I think there's we'll have driverless cars and people won't really need to know how to drive anymore.
So what you were talking about was like level 3 autonomous.
Yeah.
Or level 2. So it goes 1 to 5. 1 being the car can like accelerate by itself. 5 being it can do everything by itself. So the bus outside was classified as level 4. So it can do pretty much, it can understand what's going on.
Yeah.
But it has to be put on a set track where level 5 is...
So they program
everything.
Yeah.
So when I was talking to one of the engineers, is like every single detail, every speed bump, every zebra crossing, every street post, that all had to be programmed into it.
Yeah.
So is that something that can be really easily updated and changed? I'm just thinking if you have, like you said this morning, there was an accident. If there was an accident that blocked the path, if there was roadworks, would...
It all depends on what stage of autonomous driving you're at. Stage 5 is the end goal. That can do all the processing power will happen in the car.
Yeah.
And it can drive by itself. The processing power, or the only chip or processor enough powerful to do this isn't available till halfway through the year. I think it comes out in November. NVIDIA just brought out their new supercomputer for cars. And that's about $20,000. So
a little bit.
A little bit. You could buy a car for that.
Yeah, exactly.
So once the technology gets better in like 5 to 10 years, then we'll see that all the prices coming down, and it'll be a lot more accessible to people.
We had some people's opinions. We might just have a listen.
Sure.
Went out on the road and had some chats.
Have you heard of the autonomous bus that's been going around La Trobe?
I have. I've seen like the video and everything. Looks pretty interesting.
What do you think of it?
I think it's a good idea. I don't know if I trust it 100% yet because, I don't think they've started it properly yet, so we don't really know yet, but yeah.
Do you think this could potentially be something that is on the road all the time, or you don't know?
Oh, I don't know about on the road because it's a lot more busier there, but I don't know. We'll see how this goes, and if it works well, then my opinion is definitely on the road. Seems like a cool idea.
Have you heard of the autonomous bus that's been going around La Trobe?
I think I've seen it once.
What do you think of it?
I reckon it's a good idea, but there is the slight possibility that it could, hit someone or hit something. So I think I'd prefer like an actual driver.
Would you? So you wouldn't go on it Because what they're doing is they're doing a trial session, and if it turns out good and if everything goes to plan, they probably are going to start launching it. Would you ride on it?
Yeah, I might try it once and maybe try it a couple of times if I like it. So yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Yeah, that was interesting to hear some students' opinions on the bus itself.
Really interesting opinions.
It was. I thought so. I mean, you've ridden the bus, so you've got
First-hand
life experience opinions on this. So
I feel like it's definitely a different experience to actually sitting in a proper car in the passenger seat,
Yeah.
and there's no one in the driver's seat. I've read a few articles about how people like it's your natural response to freak out.
God, yeah.
But yeah, in it's probably in like 20 years' time, we won't even own cars. They'll just come to our house when we need them.
Absolutely.
Which is the end. Well, it's pretty much the end goal for Uber.
Yeah, well.
So you just have a heap of cars, and they would just drive. Would Uber be around in 20 years' time? I don't know. Their company is not very stable. But
it's a conversation for another time.
Speaking of Uber, there was a death. One of their autonomous cars did kill a woman 3 weeks ago. She was walking across the street with a bike, and
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, and the car didn't detect her. Oh, I don't think they've released an official statement of what actually happened, but yeah, the basis of the story is she was walking across the road, and the car just hit her, and yeah, she died at the scene.
Yeah, right.
And then later that week, Tesla, which is another huge player in the autonomous game, one of their cars had autopilot turned on, which is their self-driving feature. But they plowed into a highway barrier. And yeah, the person died at the scene as well.
Gosh, seems like there's a long way to go with that.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for sharing your experiences with us about
That's
that.
all right.
It's very exciting. We actually have Astrid and Paula out on the campus talking about Anzac Day, because that is tomorrow. Big day for Australia. So let's hear what they've got to tell us.
Okay, so we are here live with some Trobe students, and we're going to be asking them about the autonomous bus. So guys, did you know that there was an autonomous bus going around Trobe?
No, not at all.
Now that I just told you. Yeah, cool. What do you think about that? Did you go on that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was a bit scary. A bit scary without a driver, I guess. But yeah,
we'll give it a go.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is they're doing like a 2-month or 8-week trial period. They're going around, and if it does work, then they will actually maybe potentially put it out on the road. Do you think that could potentially work?
I guess like with the future and everything moving forward, it would be like fun. I don't know, like something different. But without a driver, it's a bit scary.
And it's like you can't like even if it's like a machine, you can't like calculate for other drivers' errors. So like the bus might be like, oh yeah, this works, and they don't see, like, you know what I mean? Like a car just rams into.
I think the things that they have in place are the sensors.
Oh, okay.
So they sense that there's something coming, even like if there's like a person walking with headphones or whatever, they don't see it. They actually can sense it beforehand and like stop it.
I want to try it like on the roads around here before actually going on the road.
So you actually can do that. So you can sign up, and they could potentially give you a spot, and you can ride around for free. All you have to do is, as I said in the package, fill in a survey afterwards and see how you felt about it, and that will actually help them like review it and see whether it's potentially. Would you do that? Do you think?
Yeah.
Look into
I
it.
probably would.
Yeah, cool. All right, cool. Well, thanks so much for answering our questions. Back to you guys in the studio.
Pretty cool to be out and about as usual. We like to do the roaming live cross every week to get your opinions. So if you have any suggestions, jump onto our Twitter. Raquel, what is it?
At LTYou Radio. You'll see it just on the back of our screen. If you forget, you can just have a look.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you all. Tell us what you want to hear us talking about, what you want us to go out and explore for you, what you want Paula to go and spend her money on to see if it's worth it.
Yeah, we'd love to. Than yours until it's a good experience.
Exactly.
We'll have a big show for you next week at midday. As always, having lunch with you all. It's been a pleasure. It is all we have time for today, unfortunately. Remember that, we're an open discussion. And I'd like to discuss the Anzac Day game quickly tomorrow.
Yep.
Go Bombers.
Go Bombers.
Yeah, always keen.
So long as Collingwood doesn't win, then I think everyone's happy.
Everyone's always happy when Collingwood doesn't win.
Exactly, unless you're a Collingwood supporter.
I don't know, even then, are they happy? They never seem happy to me. Yeah, quickly, at LTYou Radio.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, perfect. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Raquel.
Thank you, Sash. We'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next time.